don't ever feel like you're alone, because we're all going through the same thing as together. We all have the same questions. Everybody starts somewhere, I think, and I tell people about Talent Stacker because I'm like, hey, like, it's always nice to have people in your corner rooting you on, right? This journey doesn't have to be a solo journey, like, it never has to be like that, and I think sometimes, people can be hesitant about money or, these kind of courses, right? But let me tell you something. The proof is there. I don't, as far as numbers go, I don't know what the numbers are in terms of how many people landed jobs last year, but I know 2021 must have been a crazy year for Talent Stacker. I already know 2022 is going to be even crazier. But the proof is there. The numbers don't lie. And hey, like, look at me, look at you, look at everybody else that you interviewed. I'm sure we're all happy and understand, like, hey, there's always room for improvement, but we wouldn't be here today without Talent Stacker playing a pivotal role in that, and having those resources and having that family, and I think that's the most important thing for sure. I joined Talent Stacker July 2021, or excuse me, June of 2021, I think. Can't remember, but one of those months. And so, but prior to joining Talent Stacker, actually, I was introduced to Salesforce January of 2021. So my good friend, he's actually my best friend. He's actually a Salesforce developer at Accenture. And he's the one that told me about Salesforce. Hey, you should look into it and, take the certification program, understand the platform, super user-friendly, and look into it, and it's a great job market, and there's a great outlook for the job market as well. So I was like, you know what, why not? Prior to getting into Salesforce, I was actually a personal trainer. I actually ran my own personal training business for 3.5 years, and that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot being a business owner, just being my own boss, stepping out of my comfort zone, and focusing on, marketing and target acquisition and maintaining my clients and building that retention. But I just knew I reached a point in my career where I was longing for something else. I was ready for something new. And I knew all the hard skills and soft skills I learned as running my own business, I could transition that into a different industry. And then, when I learned about Salesforce, I was like, wow, this is actually really cool. Let me look into it. And mind you, I have no coding background, no tech background at all. My major is literally in exercise science. I'm not gonna lie, I was really intimidated at first, but then, obviously Trailhead is very user-friendly, it's very gamified, right? And obviously we all go through, we had a lot of fun gaining those badges and realized, wow, like, I can get a lot of stuff done and make an impact without a single line of code. I'm like, this is literally awesome. Like, I didn't even know this existed. This is so cool. So that's when I got introduced to Salesforce in general, January 2021. And then obviously I started prepping for the Salesforce admin exam myself. And I prepped for that for about 5 months. Just kind of going through the Salesforce admin trail mix. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the exam. Let's see how I do. And I took the exam May of 2021 and did not pass it. And I was like, wow, like, I thought I knew a lot, but it's a whole different level, right? The admin exam is definitely very, it's a different kind of approach you gotta be in order to be prepared for the exam. And I just knew I needed that extra help. I just knew I needed a community. I just knew I needed other people around me that was in the same boat as me and was just going for a common goal, which was becoming certified. And then, throughout from January to May, through my introduction to Salesforce and searching, I went on YouTube, looking up Salesforce videos. And obviously I ran into Bradley's videos. I feel like a lot of people ran into Bradley's videos. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And, it was super helpful. I loved his energy. And he just made it seem like he cared, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like everything, a lot of the topics he was talking about, I was like, man, I feel like I'm going through that as well. And then then obviously he talked about Talent Stacker and looked more into it. I did the 5-day, I believe it was the 5-day challenge, right? And I did that. I was like, yo, I can definitely, this is really cool. I see the value in it. And yeah, decided to go all in, and I decided to lean in the program. And right away, I got involved with the study group and saw the community, and I was like, this is really, really cool. And I just really saw the value right away. And honestly, it's just having that camaraderie and having that group to always fall back on really made the studying process manageable and sustainable. And knowing that I wasn't doing this by myself, it provided me with more confidence, and attended the study groups, study sessions, followed everything to the T, and I studied hard. And I went into the second test, I want to say August of 2021, went to that second test, and I failed it the second time. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, like I thought I was prepared. I studied hard, and at least I thought I studied hard. I definitely knew more than the first time, right? But I was so close, and I was really devastated because I thought this was it. I'm going to pass it. I can focus on job hunting. And when I didn't pass it, I was really devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, and I started questioning. I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. Like, I don't know if I'm in the right path or not. But then I think, again, having that community, having that family community, and going onto those Facebook pages and seeing everybody being transparent and just being open about, hey, you know what? I took the exam twice, failed it. It's okay. I'm trying to try again. And it really provided that sense of security. I was like, you know what? I'm not alone. Everyone's going through this. It's not just me. There's like 900 other people going through what I'm going through right now, right? And you know what? I just got back to the drawing board. I just studied more, and I focused on my weak points, and leaned into the program, leaned into my study group members. They were motivating me too. And, they were able to answer questions whenever I had questions. And I spent 2 weeks after that second fail. I spent 2 weeks really diving back in, focusing on my weaknesses. And then September 3rd, 2021, I took the test. It was a Friday. And gosh, I remember going through that test and telling myself, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of easy. I'm going through this really fast, and obviously you submit the exam and you see that little passed saying right there. I was so happy. I was like, finally, this is done. When it comes to Salesforce, especially passing an exam, it takes time. Give yourself some grace. You're learning a platform from the ground up, and you have to give yourself some grace, and don't be hard on yourself. And it's okay to lean into other people and lean into a program and lean into a community, because everyone's going through the same thing as you, And honestly, I don't know if I would have gone back for a third exam if it wasn't for the community around me, because really, like, my study group members and seeing everybody talk about how transparent they were really helped me push for that third attempt. How I prepared for those interviews, and mind you, I did so many interviews. I followed everything to the T in terms of, reaching out to recruiters and having a cover letter, and I felt like I nailed the interviews, but everything happens for a reason, and finally somebody will finally see your value, and then they'll give you that green light. And that's what happened with California Volunteers. Is literally, it was so funny. I sent California Volunteers my resume sometime in September, and I completely forgot about them. And fast forward a month later, I would get a random call. I see it's a California number, and I pick up the phone. This is literally a month later in October. My direct point of contact is direct point of contact. His name is Mark. Mark said, "Hey, my name is Mark. I got your resume. Sorry, I was on a trip in Spain, but I love your resume. You would be a great fit here." And then he just kind of introduced me, talked about California Volunteers, what they're about. And he's like, "Hey, let me go reach back to my team, and let's see if we can set up an interview." Literally 10 minutes later, I get a notification on my email, group interview tomorrow, Tuesday. I was like, oh crap, I'm not ready at all. I'm like freaking out because I'm like interviewing with like 6 other people, or like 6 people on the team. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Here goes nothing. That's a Monday. Tuesday come around, Tuesday, 5 p.m., do the interview. Before I can even, and I prepared for it, you know, within a matter of 24 hours, I prepared for it. I was ready to go. And interview lasted maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, I would say. And before I can even write him a thank you letter, literally before it was like maybe an hour, like not even an hour after the interview ended, I get a email from Mark saying, hey, did you know you were well prepared? You were, you know, well received by everybody on the team. Welcome to the team. I was like, wow, all right. This job, one, I'm in a lucrative career, right? It's a great place to be. I mean, being in Salesforce, being a certified admin, and now being fully established in a role, it's a great place to be. Just knowing where Salesforce is headed, the growth, the impact I can have in a business, and the freedom. And that's the main reason why I decided to join Salesforce in general, was the flexibility. Because being a personal trainer, going from industry where I was physically in person 24/7 to being fully remote, where I can work anywhere in the world, spend time with my family, run errands. I could take out my dog in the middle of work and just, you know, be on call, be on the clock, but, you know, but still have a life. That's what I was going for. And I'm able to do that now. And because of this job and because of the flexibility, as of last week, I'm officially a Texas resident. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, but because of this opportunity, and the ability to work anywhere from home, I knew I wanted to move. My girlfriend and I decided to move to Houston together, and we got a beautiful apartment here at an amazing location. And I have the flexibility of being here in Houston, and I knew I wanted to move, and I'm excited that this job allowed me to move into the next chapter of my life, which is moving with my girlfriend. And we have an amazing place here, and we have just an amazing opportunity just to continue to evolve our relationship and evolve my career in a whole different state. And I'm excited. And if it wasn't for this job, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in this opportunity. I wouldn't have had the chance to move to a whole new city, because frankly, I wouldn't have been able to afford it, you know. And now with this new income coming in, I feel secure. I feel blessed. I feel very safe. I know I can take care of myself, my girlfriend, and my family if they need it, and just have a career that's honestly just secure. And that's what I wanted. And I feel very thankful. I feel very blessed to be in this position, because, you know, a year ago, I wouldn't have the means to do what I'm doing now. Man, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be in this position now, in a whole different city in a whole different apartment, living with the love of my life and my dog, and with a job that I truly love, that's challenging me every single day, I wouldn't have believed you. But I'm here now, and Talent Stacker had a major role in that, because I think the biggest thing for me was that family aspect, and having that camaraderie, and knowing that, hey, you're not in this alone. We're all doing this together. If there's ever a moment where you feel like, hey, you're stuck, or you're not getting something, or, you know, you just want to quit, there's 900, 1,000 other people going through the same thing as you. You know, you're not in this alone. And honestly, you just gotta lean into the program. Just understand, like, hey, there's people who've been doing this and seeing genuine success from it. There's no reason why you can't do it either. You know, there's no reason why this other person deserves something and you don't, right? Everybody came in with whatever background, but what they did was, hey, you know what? They're open to learning something new. Obviously, I'm not saying it's easy, right? Nothing's easy. You definitely have to put in time and effort and consistency, but I'm telling you, at the end of it, it's all worth it.